All right. So I legit just recorded my whole deck profile and I wasn't recording on my camera. Oh boy, oh boy. Welcome to my channel. Welcome. Guys, my name is Busfare. What I do is I play Digimon. I play Digimon now. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I made a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos, doing deck profiles, stuff like that on Dueling Network, Dueling Book, I think as it's called now. Here I am playing Digimon. So, this is my Dynasmon deck. I've built it so that I could have fun, so that I could learn the game. I've been playing about 3 months or so, and the first deck I built straight up was Lord Knight. I got the Lord Knights, I got the Pulsemons, I did this and that, I joined Evo tournaments, and I've had a lot of experience so far with a variety of decks, and I haven't tried any other deck other than Yellow, which is crazy. Right now I'm actually building Busfare and I'm building Nightmon, but this is my Dynasmon deck. I built this, and this is not exactly a pure competitive build or anything like that. Like I said, I'm pretty new to this game still, but I've learned enough to try to build my own deck and not try to learn from others. Or I mean, I've taken some ideas that people threw at me like, hey, you might want to try this, you might want to try that, but I also had a theme in mind for this deck to make it my own. And I'm hoping that by you coming here, we could both learn together and also share some ideas. And I hope that you enjoy this content. So we're gonna go through this because I talked a lot in my last video and that was a lot of talking and it didn't amount to anything. So we have 4 of the premium Pulsemons. This is a pretty, I wouldn't say hard card to get, but I think you should definitely try to get these if you can. The reason why is because it is a level 3 Digimon that says on play, if you have 3 or more security in your security stacks, you get to draw a card. If you have 3 or fewer, you get to gain 1 memory. If you have 3 or fewer, this basically makes this a 2-drop, but there's a sweet spot. At 3, you get both effects, so you're able to play this, and then you're also able to draw a card and also able to get that memory. So you're going to see the theme of this deck being mostly, I'm going to try to manipulate my security so that I could get pluses and also keep my momentum and everything built up. This deck can fall to some other decks when it comes to removal, but hopefully if you're gaining memory like crazy, you probably don't have to worry about that all that much. This does have some spammability when it comes to Digimon, so yeah. Next we have 3 of the Pulsemons from the new set, BT-6. This guy is a 3-drop just like the last Pulsemon, but his effect is you may trash cards from the top of your security stack until you hit 3. For every card that you trashed, you gain 1 memory. So that's really good because if you have 6 security stacks, because maybe you used a reinforcement memory boost, then you can drop him for basically free, because you drop him, you trash 3 off the top of your security, he's basically 0. You gain 3 memory for paying 3 memory. His inherited effect is if you have 3 security on the dot, the Digimon that has this as a source then gets jamming, which means that that Digimon can attack your opponent's security and not have to worry about the Digimon that they check fighting them back. But you might need to watch out for option cards. For our other level 3s, we have 2 Starmons. I think if you're used to yellow decks, you already know who this guy is. He is sometimes the star of the rookies, pun intended. And when this guy is played, for every Digimon that you control, you do 1000 DP to a target Digimon. Just a really solid level 3 Digimon. I'm gonna try to see if I can find a way of playing 4 of those. Next, we have 2 Patamon. Once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by dropping to 0 DP, you gain 1 memory. This is an inherited effect. Patamon is really good. I think he's just always been kind of a staple in yellow decks when it comes to like Lord Knight, Shine Gray, or anything like that, because you're going to be dropping the DP of Digimon a lot. Not so much in this deck. There are other ways to remove, but yeah. I also want to find a way of getting Bushi Agumon in this deck. I gotta tweak it a little bit. Next for our last level 3 is Lucamon. This guy is an interesting Digimon. He cannot Digivolve from another Digimon, and he cannot Digivolve into another Digimon unless it has Lucamon in its name. We don't have any other Lucamon Digimon other than what's going to come out in the next set with our, I believe he's a purple Digimon. But yeah, this is a 13 cost card, and you're like, oh god, it's a 13 cost card. Why would I ever want to play this? How can you play it? Well, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, it reduces the cost of this Digimon by 8. So this becomes a 5-drop. And also when he's played, you recover 1 from your deck into your security. Really good card. I want to run 3 of them, but I only have 1. Sadly. So for this deck, I do want to partly run 2 or 3 because I am running Mastermon in this deck. For our level 4s, we are running 4 Wizardmon. This is the new and probably the best level 4 that came out in BT-6. Once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, gain 1 memory. This is only on your turn. If it was on your opponent's turn, that would be so beautiful. But it is only on your turn. So it is an inherited effect, so it doesn't work unless you Digivolve on top of it. And it's just really good because you'll see why. We're going to talk about why it's really good. Next, we have 2 of the premium Gatomon. This is a level 4 Digimon that has the opponent's turn. While you have a purple Digimon in play, this Digimon is a blocker. So if you have Mastimon on board and you have this off of Mastimon's effect, this becomes a blocker. Also, on play, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you get to recover 1 from your deck. So just a really good card, really solid. Next, we have the staple, Unimon. Why do we run this? Because it's a blocker. There are, I believe, other than that, we run 2 Pitomon. This is good because it is 6,000 DP and it can dodge Nidhogg, but it is a 2 Digivolve cost, while this one is a 1 Digivolve cost, but it can be hit by Nidhogg. And also this is good for blocking Rookie. If somebody's playing Rookie Rush against you, this is good. I don't think any of their Digimon besides Terriermon is over 6,000. For our level 5s, we have 2 Andromon. This is the one that when you Digivolve, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you then recover 1. It's pretty much simple. It's the reason why we run this. We're going to be manipulating our security a lot. We're going to try to keep ourselves between that sweet spot of, we would like to say the sweet spot is 3, but we're going to try to keep it between 2 and 4. We have 2 Rise Greymons. The reason why I'm running this is because it can also be counted as a yellow Digimon as for its first effect. So its first effect is this Digimon is also treated as a yellow Digimon. Also, his Digiburst 2 is to play a yellow or red Tamer from your hand. Its effect will go off. So you could play TK off of his effect, and then you will gain his effect to go off. His inherited effect is if you have a Tamer in play, when you attack with a Digimon that has this as a source, you do 2,000 to a Digimon your opponent controls. So really solid. You could play the yellow one. The yellow one has a Digivolve effect, not Digiburst. So when you Digivolve, you will then get a Tamer, but you will not get their effect. It's really good for Shine Greymon because you're going to be playing people like Kari or TK and Kari, and those effects aren't anything that activate when you play them. Only the 4-cost TK, and so that's the reason why I'm playing the red one, because I want the effects to go off. Also, I like that negative 2,000, and yes, the Rise Greymon, if you have 3 more Tamers, you then are able to get security attack +1, but that's only if you have 3 Tamers, and I'm running only 5 in this deck while I was running 8 in Shine Greymon. So, for our level 5s, we have Wargramon. This guy is just really solid. If you ever played Lord Knight, you definitely played this guy, probably at 3 or 4. You could Digiburst 2 to do 4,000 DP to your opponent's Digimon. His inherited effect is while you have 3 or fewer security cards, this Digimon gets 1,000 DP. Really good for just adding on that 4,000 to a rookie that your opponent controls, or just getting that little bit of damage that you need in order to knock out a Digimon. As for our last level 5s, we have Nightmon. This guy is just pretty overall solid. If you have your TK and your TK and Kari, then you're gonna probably have 5 memory at the end of every turn. You can play this for 7 and do 4,000 DP to your opponent's Digimon and leave your opponent at 2 memory. Also, you can summon this using Lord Knight. If you play Lord Knight, you know who this guy is. If you played against it, you know who this guy is. So next, for our level 6s, we have Dynasmon. This is the man of the hour. We do not run 4 because we don't really need 4. He's good for searching himself out, technically, but let's run through his effect. So when digivolving, you may trash the top card of your security stack to then reveal the top 6 cards from the top of your deck. You get to add 2 level 6 or lower Digimon to your hand. The rest of the cards go into the trash. Really good for getting himself back to the hand, or getting whatever Digimon you need to your hand. It sucks if you reveal some Tamers, because those Tamers are going to go into the trash. But this is why I want to run like 2-3 Lucamon, because I want to put those Lucamons in the trash so that when I get my Mastermon, I'm able to get those Lucamons out from the trash. Also, if you have a Lord Nightmon, get your Lucamon to the hand. Also, it allows you to get your Nightmons or whatever you need into your hand. His second effect is all turns, once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer security, recover 1. Now, this card works for itself. So you digivolve him, you top 1 off from your security, you reveal 6, you get your Digimon to your hand, and then you recover 1 from the top of your deck into your security. Also, if you have Wizardmon underneath it, you will then get a memory for doing that. So it goes from being a level 4 Digivolve into a level 3 Digivolve. Yeah, it's just really solid. Also, it works on your opponent's turn. So if your opponent attacks you and it tops off your security, you recover 1. If you have 3 or fewer security, you can also do things like if you have 3 security, you can play TK, get a card from your security, recover, and then because you had 3 or fewer security after you recovered, you then recover 1 off of that. So you will actually gain a recovery for using TK. Also, if you have Wizardmon, you will actually turn TK into basically a level a 3 drop, because you will gain that memory for activating TK. So really solid. Next we have is 2 Mastermon. I would run 3, but I don't have 3. I'm probably gonna have to get another one. They're not cheap. I mean, they're not expensive. They're fairly cheap. So we're gonna go into his effect. He is actually a purple Digimon that can digivolve from a yellow or a purple. When digivolving, you trash 1 card from the top of both players' security stacks, then play a 1 purple or yellow Digimon with level 4 or less from your trash without paying its memory costs. So, like I said, you play this, you trash 1 from the top of your security stack and your opponent's, really good for pushing, and then you are able to play a yellow or purple level 4 or lower from your trash. So you have targets like Gatomon, which will then turn them into a blocker, which will then have them recover. You could play Lucamon from the trash and recover. You can play Pulsemon so that you can gain a memory and also draw a card. Also, it will trigger Dynasmon, allowing you to recover that card that you topped off, and then also Dynasmon will also help you recover off of that. If you have Wizardmon, you will activate that too, and then he become a 3 drop basically. So there's a lot of reasons why you should run Mastermon, and when I get a 3rd one, I will definitely have a updated deck profile. To round off our level 6s, we have Lord Nightmon. It's crazy because Lord Nightmon is still really good this format, even without any of the new cards. Lord Knight is able to summon not Mastermon, Lucamon, or any level 3 Digimon that we have. Also, the reason why we're running them is because we have Nightmon. Nightmon is that level 5 that I was just talking about, the one that says 4,000 DP. play Lord Knight, you swing. You play Nightmon. Nightmon does 4,000 damage. Now that Nightmon's on board, she will gain 1,000 DP. And then you can overlay Mastermon on top of that Nightmon and do some other shenanigans. Really solid. Next, we have 2 Chaosmon Valda Arms. This is the guy with the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. Let's say you did Lord Nightmon and you have your Nightmon and you're like, oh, you know, I don't have any other plays, and he still has Digimon on board. Drop Chaosmon Valda Arms. He can kill most any Digimon pretty much. The reason being is that he's able to do 7,000 to twice, and you can either target a separate Digimon or you could target one Digimon twice, doing 14,000 to a Digimon. Also, if your opponent is really adamant on getting rid of this Digimon, and they do, he will then gain you 3 memory. Now for our Tamers, we have 3 TKs. This is a staple in any yellow deck. You already know who TK is. Trust me, if you've been playing Digimon, you've been playing against yellow, you know who TK is. At the start of your turn, if you have 2 or less memory, you gain 3. You go to 3 memory. On play, look at your security stack. Reveal the card that you take. Reveal 1 card in it and add it to your hand. If it's a yellow card, you recover 1. If it's not, then you don't. Really good for getting cards that you need to your hand. It's a really good toolbox tool for getting cards out of your security and also recovering cards to your security. It activates Wizardmon, it activates Dynasmon, it makes cards free. It's just a really solid card. And for our other Tamer, we have TK Takashi and Kari Kamiya, new Tamers from BT-6. At the start of your turn, if you have fewer security cards than your opponent, you gain 2 memory. On your turn, when one of your yellow Digimon attacks, you can suspend this Tamer to do 1,000 DP to your opponent's Digimon. Really good for knocking out Digimon that have leftover DP that you need to get rid of. Also, if you have both TK and Kari on board, you will likely have less memory than your opponent because we're going to be manipulating a lot of our security. And so this will bring you to 3, this will take you to 5. If you have 2 of them, this will take you to 7. And 7 is a lot of memory to work with when it comes to yellow. There's going to be a lot of draw power in this deck. Trust me. A lot of draw power, a lot of memory manipulation, a lot of security manipulation. For our options, we are running Reinforcement Memory Boost. We are running this because this is just a really good card for this deck. It allows you to stay out of lethal territory when going against cards like decks like Bond of Bravery, or what is it? Bond of Courage and Bond of Friendship, I believe it is. When you're going against Bond of Friendship, it can be very scary because they have so many ways of doing so much security damage to you in one turn. And so let's talk about this. So when you play this, you reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. You place one of the top on top of your security stack face down, add the remaining card to your hand, then place this card into your battle area. And then your next turn, not the turn that you played this card, you can trash this to gain 3 memory. Really good if you are struggling to get memory, if you don't have any TKs or any Tamers on board. This can help you in a clutch play. 3 is a sweet spot when it comes to yellow decks because a lot of cards in there are either 4 Digivolve cards or 3 Digivolve cards. Lord Nightmon is 3 Digivolve, Dynasmon, Mastermon are 4, and so by utilizing Wizardmon and stuff like that, you're able to gain that memory so that they become 3 costs, and also yellow Lord Knight will sometimes become 2. So Reinforcing Memory Boost is just a really solid card. If you play this and you have a Tamer that you revealed alongside with a Digimon, put that Tamer on top of your security stack. Your opponent doesn't really want to attack into a Tamer because he knows that you're going to get a plus off of that. Have your opponent do the dirty work for you. And so, yeah. So this is my deck. Has a lot of work to, a lot of work to do with this. I'm probably going to try to find a way of running Bushi Agumon. I might take out the Starmons. I'm not exactly sure, and maybe run to Bushi Agumon because I don't know, Mastermon, Lord Nightmon playing Bushi for that last, that last kill. Definitely if you're running Mastermon, topping off their security stack and then going into Bushi Agumon for the win, really solid. Thank you guys for all watching. I hope this has been a nice learning experience for you. I'm still learning myself. Let's learn together. If you have anything to say in the comment section, like, ideas for this deck or any other deck you would like to see me showcase on this channel, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out, everybody.